Anatole de Monzie was a French administrator, encyclopaedist, political figure and scholar. His father was a tax collector in Bazas, Gironde, where Anatole, a name he disliked from an early age, was born in 1876. A nurse mishap resulted in an accident where the child Anatole lost the proper use of his leg and he remained crippled for the rest of his life. He never married but had several affairs. A brilliant mind, he studied in Gironde before attending the Collège Stanislas, a famous Catholic school in Paris, where he became friend with writer-to-be Henri de Jouvenel and Catholic activist Marc Sangnier. Career: he studied law and started to practice but finally chose politics. He was chef de cabinet of Education Minister Joseph Chou-Tom in 1902. At about the same time, he started a career as a local politician in the Lot, a forlorn and backwater, yet charming, department in the southwest of France. Successively, and very often simultaneously, he became Consulate General, Mayor of Cahors, Deputy and Senator, soon commanding a huge following among the local voters, pleased by his culture, his easy access to government and proficiency in handing out public sector jobs. He made the Lot a lifelong stronghold. Member of a small centrist faction, called Républicains Socialists, he soon cut a fine figure in the Chamber des Députés because of its abilities and its central positioning. His thriving ministerial career started in 1913, when he was appointed sous-secrétaire d'État à la Marine Marchande. From 1918 to 1940, he occupied numerous positions in all sorts of governments and was appointed minister 18 times. As a finance minister, he is remembered for recommending to cut the budget in 1925. He was deeply involved in the diplomatic affairs, starting a campaign for a renewal of the relations with the Holy See, followed, in 1922, by a plea for the acknowledgement of the Soviet Union. From 1924 to 1927, he headed the Russian Affairs Commission and as such dealt with some of the prominent Russian figures of that time. He started discussing the reimbursement of the Russian loans, but, after the return to power of Poincaré in 1926, the negotiation failed. In 1925, he also served briefly as Minister of Education and Fine Arts. He is credited for introducing philosophy in the high school curriculum, perhaps a reflect of its Masonic affiliation. He also banned the teaching of local dialects in school. During a new stint as Minister of Education in the government of Édouard Herriot in 1932, the name of the department was changed to Éducation Nationale, a name it has kept hitherto. His policy generally promoted a free and neutral education system. Minister of Travaux Publics in 1938, he was confronted to a great dockers' strike, which enhanced the left distrust for his person. Between 1938 and 1940, he led several delicate diplomatic missions. During the time of international tensions, Anatole's position was a matter of controversy. A stalwart pacifist, he was indeed actively promoting the Latin alliance between France and Italy, who would mediate between Hitler and the Allies. He voted the powers to Maréchal Pétain in 1940. Friend of Otto Abetz, Darqueur de Pellepoix and Fernand de Brinon, he was nonetheless an object of hatred for many among the régime de Vichy. He was forced to resign from his mayorship in 1942. Indicted by the Comité National des Écrivains in 1945, he died in Paris 2 years later. Anatole de Monzie was a scholar and something of a writer. His intellectual legacy numbers the publication of the Encyclopaedie Française from 1935 on. He was also connected to various French writers and intellectuals of the time, including Colette, Roland Dorgelis, Lucien Fabre and Pierre Benoit, whom he introduced to the Lot, especially the little town of Saint-Cyr-Écoute, where the writer wrote several of his works. Works of Anatole de Monzie. Les Réformes scolaires, Paris, Stock, 1905. Au Confins de la Politique, Paris, Grasset, 1913. C. Resuscitara, Paris, Alcan, 1915. Rome sans conocer à la diplomatie de la présence, Paris, Alban Michel, 1918. L'entrée au Forum van Gtans avant, Paris, Alban Michel, 1920. La mort de Julie, Paris, Auguste Blazer, 1922. Du Kremlin au Luxembourg, Paris, Delpouge, 1924. Les contestations et acute, Paris, Gallimard, 1929. Grandeur et servitude judiciaires, Paris, Kra, 1931. Petit Manuel de la Race Nouvelle, Paris, Firmin Didot, 1931. Livre de raisons, Paris, Excelsior, 1934. Les Veufs Abusives, Paris, Grasset, 1937. C.I. Devant, Paris, Flammarion, 1941. Pétition pour l'Histoire, Paris, Flammarion, 1942. Memoirs de la Tribune, Paris, Korea, 1943. Le César des Joches, Paris, Flammarion, 1943.